The world's best over the iconic 10-kilometer race are gearing up for what promises to be a titanic tussle to cross the finish line first. The inaugural FNB Durban 10K CitySurf Run set for the 8th of October boasts in the men's race IAAF silver medalist Joshua Cheptegei from Uganda, Kenyan Morris Gachaga, who recently set a blistering pace in the 12K in Cape Town, and South Africa's own 10-kilometer record holder, Stephen Mokoka. He's here with us this morning to talk about this 10K CitySurf Run out in Durban. Good morning, and thank you very much for giving us this time ahead of the race.
No, morning, and thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about this race and your preparedness and what you're thinking about how you're going to go into this race?
Firstly, I can say I'm excited getting an invitation to go run in Durban. It will be my first time, I think my second time in Durban, because the first time I ever ran in Durban was like at 28 minutes, 34 seconds, but that's way back. So I'm very excited about this inaugural race, especially with the strong field, with the guys that, East Africans. So I'm very excited about it, and I'm looking forward for it.
Now, you're up against a classy field, some very classy runners, Cheptegei, you're up against Morris as well. How do you feel about your opponents to try and get to number one?
I'm very excited. You know, as an athlete, the most important thing you always say, I wish the race could be fast, because that's what I'm hoping for. Because, this year, I started horribly, actually, in the beginning of the year, but everything is picking up now. Because I think the last time I ran a 10K was in Manchester, where I suffered like the last 2Ks. I was going to run somewhere around a 28 low, but my endurance was not good at that time because I was coming back from injury. And now I'm excited because everything is running smoothly. I ran my season's best as well in the 10K in London 4 or 5 weeks ago. So I'm very excited about it. All I'm hoping is that we can work together. Everyone will be on the field so that we can try to get the faster time.
Now, can you tell me something about the 10K itself that you just ran out in London? It's not so long ago, was it?
Yes.
When did you do that race?
It was on the 4th of August.
Okay, so now in terms of that race, what kind of time did you run? Because I know like your best time is at 27.34, is it?
No, 27.40.
40, that's where it is, yes. And what did you run out in London?
In London, I ran my season's best, 28.14. It's the best time ever in this year. That's why I say my season started very bad, but I'm glad that it's picking up. So I'm excited about the race, actually.
In terms of preparation for Durban, you are happy with where you are right now in terms of what you ran in London, and a couple of weeks' time will be in Durban. Are you happy with that trajectory?
Yeah, I still have like 3 more weeks to go before Durban. There's still a few things that I need to do as an athlete and as a coach, because we sat down and we realized that my shape was perfect for London, but I suffered like my last 3 kilometers. Yeah. So we had to work on that. So we had to adjust the mileage a little bit. So we just, before this race, we trained like for 2 months with the very same shape, because the speed work is good, the strength is good, but the only thing that I was suffering from was my mileage, because we did not want to put more mileage in my program after I came back from injury. So I say now everything is perfect, and I'm very excited.
You talk about injury and the processes that you need to go through. I want to touch on that just now. But first up, I do believe that when you announced that you intend to break your own record, your own 10-kilometer record out in Durban, the sponsors got busy immediately and upped the ante, put in some serious money for the possibility that somebody would break the South African 10-kilometer record, as well as a possibility of somebody breaking the world record. How does that make you feel?
I'm excited. You know, when I said that, I was sitting at home, I'm like, I owe it to South African to, I always run like a 27 minutes on the track. So most of the young generation, they've witnessed a 27 at home. So I told myself, you know what, let me try to challenge myself in terms of my best ever 10K outside the country, but let me try to do it at home. So for me, my first goal is to try to break my own record. If I won't be able to do that, I'll be happy if I can be able to run a sub 28 minutes, because I believe I owe it to South Africans. I want South African to witness that from one of their own athletes in the country.
Yeah, and I think we'd all enjoy that. I think a lot of people are looking forward to the sterling field that you're going to be part of. What does this race do for the sport, you think? Because, every morning you drive to work or you drive somewhere, there are people out in the road, either jogging or running as in to take part in marathons, 10Ks, 5Ks, serious races. What do you think this series of CitySurf Runs does for the sport?
I mean, me as an individual, I believe they say sports is a social cohesion. It brings a lot of people together. If they can be able to bring people from Uganda, from Kenya, from Ethiopia to our country, from Switzerland, it does good for our sports. I mean, people saw Joshua Cheptegei running well against Mo Farah a month ago. So being able to see him and then seek advices from him, it will be a great thing for South African, especially those people who want to see themselves doing well outside their country. So I can say something like this, it's good for our sports, especially like shorter distances. I believe Still Hotels and FNB, their collaboration, they're doing a very good thing for our sports, because they started with 12 kilometers in Cape Town, and then they went to Joburg with Joburg 10 kilometers, and then now they are spreading to Durban. I hope they spread to the entire country and they keep on getting more sponsorships to come and work with them, so that they can keep on inviting these guys to come and run in South Africa, so that some of the people who admire them, they can get their autographs, they can get their they can share their experience with them, so that they can see them in person. You know, the most important thing is when you get a chance to see a person that you admire, that you respect, that is a role model to you. If you see them in person, you get some motivation. So I believe this, the platform that they are using, even spreading the entire country, taking the event to the people, it's a very good thing. And I hope that, and I pray that they spread the entire country, all the 9 provinces. One day when we see in our country we are having these FNB races for the entire country, most importantly, the shorter stuff, because of one main thing. Every time we see city marathons, we see ultra marathons. In South Africa, we talk one thing, ultra marathons. But for young people, if they get the platform, they get this thing, they can realize that you need to start somewhere. True. You have to start in the 10 kilometers, you have to start in cross country, you have to start somewhere else before you become a bigger man, when your muscles are matured enough to attempt the marathon. So I can say, I wish they can keep on doing the very same thing, because this is good for our sports.
No, fantastic. Well said. I'm sure they're going to love the punt that you've just given them. You mentioned something about getting to meet people one admires and aspires to be like and emulate, and people who do great things. One of the reasons I love my job, you're here talking to me. You're the South African 10-kilometer record holder. You've also represented the country on so many different occasions and done it well. So I love my job just because of that. Earlier on, you mentioned something about the rehab that you need to go through when you've coming back from injury and so on and so forth. Who foots the bill for that kind of thing? Who foots the bill for you to go to Durban, for you to go to London, Manchester, all these other races that we see you on TV on sometimes? How does that work for you?
I mean, if you touch firstly in terms of injuries, in South Africa we're unfortunate. An athlete has to stand up for themselves when they're injured, which is a tough thing. But I mean, we love our sports anyway. So I do this because I love it. So I'll make sure that I'm healthy and strong. So like I'm bouncing back from an injury, I had to look after myself. I have to pay for my own physio. I had to drive from Pretoria, coming to Joburg. Sometimes drive around the country trying to get the problem that I had. So that's a tough thing with us South African runners. But we wish one day something can happen, that the South African Sports Federation, they can look after us, because we represent them when we get the opportunity, when they give us an opportunity.
Yes. And when you win, it's for all of us. But when you're trying to sort yourself out, you're on your own.
Yeah, I believe this is sports. This is not teaching. This is not, nursing. This is not you being a lawyer. You know, sports is one thing. Today you are at the higher level. Tomorrow you are at some point. That's so true. We have to work like that. It's like a graph. You cannot be at top of the world while using your human body to be there forever. At least with the brain, you can get a rest. But if you, when we train, we put our body through hell. I'm sitting here. I just finished my 30 kilometers in the morning, and then I still have another session to do. So I had to sacrifice to come here and have a word with you guys with regard to this, because I believe it's going to be good marketing for us. Especially they use me as a brand for South Africa. I'm a South African record holder. So if they use me, maybe it can bring a lot of sponsors maybe in our sports. Secondly, to touch to the part of us going to races, it depends who are you working with. I'm currently working with Nike. As you can see, I'm trying to wear a Nike cap.
I can see it says Nike right there, London 2017, Nike, nice swoosh.
Yeah, and then I'm also working with Boxer in the local club. That's a local club I'm working with. They are looking very well after me. I think Boxer started this year because I saw what they do for the sports, especially for the shorter stuff, especially for the young juniors and the youth. They are not like those mega clubs that are looking after, people going to commemorate 2 oceans. I don't know. It's good they are doing that for elderly athletes or the elite athletes for their level, but what are they doing for the ones that they want to replace those ones when they go out? Because this is the sport. Somebody has to come out. But if they are not going to look after those people, it's very going to be tough. So for me, I can say I'm very happy with the companies that I'm working with, and I hope they keep on working with me the very same way they've been working with me. And I hope a lot of sponsorships comes on board to come and help our athletes, because we want to see our sports growing. We want to see, South Africa producing more weights, more casters, more Kani, in our sports.
Yes.
So
Mokokas.
It will be a great honor for us.
Yeah, well done. No, thank you so much for coming through, and I really do appreciate you giving us this time this morning. I was aware that it's somewhere in the middle of your busy training schedule, preparing for Durban. When do you plan to get to Durban?
I left with 3 weeks of training, but basically it's 2 weeks of training. Okay. So anytime, if I have to go to Durban, even if I have to go on Monday, I'll be happy to sit by the coast.
Yeah.
If when it's hot, I can go on the sea and then just have a swim, maybe if I have to, and also, or just to relax sometime, because here it's very hot.
It's very hot.
It's very dry. So.
It's nicer when it's hot when you're next to the beach, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. No. So I thank you very much for coming through. I really hope the best for you. I hope you do break that 10K record, because like some 300,000 rand on the line if you break the South African record, and half a million if you break the world record, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
proper money.
It's a good money, actually, and then I'll be happy. The only thing, like I said earlier, my first aim, my best time, if I break it, and then my second goal is I want to give it to South Africa, and I want to give South African, I want them to witness 27 minutes on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Mokoka, South African, the 10-kilometer record holder, chatting to us right now about his preparations for the Durban 10K CitySurf Run, where they promised that the fastest time ever run in South Africa, or at least for 2017, will be run. But here we are talking possibly national record, possibly world record. 8th of October is that race. Make sure that you stay close to us, because we'll be bringing you all the updates leading up to it.